We are on October 19th, 327 Wright and Co. Law Offices. That was a close one, huh, Mia? Really? Too bad. I'm sorry I missed it. Ah, Maya's back. Boo. Boo. Maya, you're back. So what happened? Well, I think I've got a pretty good idea of who did it. Do we? Do we have a pretty good idea? Now all I need is a motive and proof. Wow, good going, Nick. Under the initial trial system, tomorrow is the last day we have. Initial trial? What's that? That's the new court system they introduced 2 or 3 years ago. They had so many cases in the system, they decided to speed the whole process up. So under the system, trials have to end in 3 days? Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've no time to waste. Is that true, do you think? Is there a rule that said that? All right, I guess we're going back to the detention center. Should we talk to Wolverine again? Mr. Wright, you did very well again today. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Could you not look like you're about to burst into tears? Wow, Nick, you must have really wowed him in there. And could you wipe that grin off your face? Hey, WP, only 1 day left. Let's make it count. Yes, he's not doing anything. Though there's not really anything I can do to help. Yeah, he's just sitting there. Haha, I'm not really sure what I can do either. Please, this is no laughing matter. Okay. Tell me about producer D. Vasquez. Could you tell me more about Miss Vasquez? Oh, the producer? She's well respected in the industry. They say she's a genius. A genius? She's been at Global Studios for 5 years now. Right or wrong, nobody dares tell her different these days. Why is that? Ever since she came on board, we've had nothing but hits. Global Studio was on its knees, but she picked it up and made it shine. Oh, and what? Nothing. Forget it. Do you like her? Do you love her? I've only heard rumors anyhow. Of what? Of what? Okay. Can you tell me anything about Mr. Manila? Oh, he used to be a minor straight-to-video director. Oh my god. Minor, as in not a big star. Sorry. With everything that's within the streaming news right now, my mind just went to a different place. Oh, he used to be a minor straight-to-video director. But something in his work caught Vasquez's eye. She brought the Steel Samurai idea to him. Now everyone knows the name Salmonella. I hear he's pretty much at her beck and call, though. Whenever she says jump, he asks how high and all that. I can imagine him being at her beck and call, though I can't imagine him jumping. I was wondering about Mr. Hammer. He was a big star back in the day, right? But then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Oh, yes, you're right. He was my role model when I started in this business, but he just stopped taking the big roles. That's when he began appearing in little productions at Global. How could he do that? I was really looking forward to a sequel to Samurai Summer. He just gave up being a star 5 years ago. Actually, now that I think about it, I was right when Miss Vasquez came to Global. Curious. 5 years ago? Hello, old bag. Yes, quite. The old windbag sure is quiet today. You know, this place is really peaceful like this. Nick? I think her guard's down. Yeah? I bet we could even eat those donuts in the guard station if we wanted. Stop trying to eat food that's left around. You don't know who's touched it. You eat, you die. Whew, she's alive. I was wondering about Dee Vasquez, the producer. Oh, the studio bigwigs love her. So she always gets her way. She seems bitter. Do you not like the producer? Look, the studio people don't want me talking about her, so sorry. Okay. Very mysterious. Something's up with her. Can I ask you about Salmonella, the director? Sal, he's soft, a pushover. Does whatever Vasquez tells him to. She treats him like dirt, but I think he likes it. Huh? Why would anyone like being treated like dirt? That doesn't make sense, does it, Nick? No. No, it does not. About Mr. Hammer. That made her angry. I heard about what you said today, cheeky whippersnapper. Poor old Hammer. You drag his star down from the sky and stomp on it. Calling him a criminal. A thief. Wait, I won't forget this. What? Oh, we did. We said he drugged the guy and took his costume. That's a very big exaggeration of a criminal and a thief, I guess. Uh-oh, she's really mad this time. You listen to me, whippersnapper. My poor old Hammer would never do such a thing. Why would he steal Powers' costume so he could sneak by me? He would never stoop so low. It's impossible. Okay, well, sorry. Do we have anything to present you with? No, nothing new. All right, let's hit up the employee area. Is anyone hanging out here? A child or someone? I guess they're not filming today either. I did want to see them filming just one time. This trial will be over and done by tomorrow. You can come see them film later. I guess. This is where you found the bottle of sleeping pills, right? Uh-huh. I wonder if there are any other clues lying around. Ah! No touching. Hey, eek. Sorry, pal. Didn't mean to frighten you. Didn't mean? I almost had a heart attack. I guess I can be a little dramatique at times. I suppose it's the actor in me. Dramatique, indeed. He says dramatique just like I do. Me and Gumshoe are kindred spirits. Ahem. Anyway, I'm here to examine the plate on the table. Wait, are you looking for sleeping pills? Yeah, pal. Traces thereof. Okay. So you're looking for the traces of the sleeping pills. How? For a thorough examination, I gotta take the plate back to the precinct. But I have the capabilities to make a cursory examination right here. Our science guy gave me some testing solution. This reacts to these sleeping pills. See? If there's traces, it'll change color. Wow, that is exciting. I do think that's neat. Detective Gumshoe, what are you waiting for? Now, everything in due time. Do it. So exciting. Well, the testing on the plate changed color. The testing solution changed color. So the food on this plate had been laced with sleeping pills. Looks like it. Steak plate added to the court record. Traces of sleeping pills and a large bone. It's exciting. How goes your investigation? To tell the truth, it's a real mess. Some people think we should pursue the case we already have against Powers. And some people think we should switch suspects. What do you think, Detective Gumshoe? Well, I hate to admit it, but I'm not so sure I buy the case against Miss Powers anymore. I feel kind of bad for Mr. Edgeworth, though. How's Edgeworth doing, anyway? Mr. Edgeworth is out of control. He was in the waiting room and he crushed this paper cup with hot coffee in it. Whoa. Talk about burns, pal. Wow, the fury of Edgeworth. Yeah, crushing paper cups. Cups, bottles. Say, whatever happened with that empty bottle? Oh, the bottle of sleeping pills? Well, I got some good news for you about that. They found the victim, Jack Hammer's print on the bottle. So that means... Yep, it sounds like the one who put Powers to sleep was none other than the victim. So I was right. I was just guessing, man. I guessed right. Sleeping pill bottle added to the court record. I thought it was the assistant girl, so good to know it was him. Okay, are there more clues? Nothing we haven't already looked at. Is what's-his-face still in here? Oh, it's Penny. Hello. What are you doing here? Oh, I was just cleaning up the dressing room. I guess WP won't be using it anymore, so... What? Why? But WP's innocent. Yes, and I'm really grateful for all that you've done. But this week is the last episode of The Steel Samurai. What? No! What do you mean? What do you mean, the last Steel Samurai? I know it's a shock, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai's death warrant. No! Also, I hear that Global Studios is going to change its programming. They're not going to make kids shows anymore. What? Why? I don't know. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided. Why aren't they going to make kids shows anymore? The studio bigwigs don't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened. They want it quiet. You understand? How can they just do that? What about all the kids who love the Steel Samurai? It's okay. I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow. No, that can't be true. If the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure. Nick, say something. Yeah. I think evidence rather than words is called for here. Here, take a look at this. And this is... A fan collected all of these photographs. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show shouldn't be canceled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone. You're right. Okay. But what can I do? Well, for starters, you can tell me something. Tell me what it is that Global Studios is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago. Okay. I was wondering if I could ask you about Mr. Hammer. Yes? On the day of the murder, he went to Studio 2. Huh? I thought he went to Studio 1. He stole the Steel Samurai costume too. What? Why would Mr. Hammer do something like that? Oh. I guess the rumor must be true then. The rumor? Yeah, Miss Vasquez, that producer, had some kind of hold on Hammer. She had some dirt on him. He'd do anything she said, apparently. Some dirt? What dirt? Dirt, you know, bad stuff. I know what dirt means. About 5 years ago, they were filming a movie starring Mr. Hammer. They were using the new studio, Studio 2. Some sort of accident happened during filming. After that, they never used Studio 2 again. They left the film set the way it was, too. The film set? Was that trailer part of the film set then? Could you tell us what happened 5 years ago? Well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently, 5 years ago, someone died, and it was Hammer's fault. Someone died? It was an accident, of course. Anyway, the producer, Miss Vasquez, managed to hush it up. And that's the dirt she had on Mr. Hammer? That's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Miss Vasquez asked him to do. But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public? Well, you know Mr. Hammer was a big star back then. They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out. I see. You know who knows more about this? Miss Oldbag. She was here at the studios back then, you know. Thanks. We'll try asking her. If she'll talk. Oh my god. What is happening? What? You're still slinking around? If you like the place so much, why don't you take over for me? I don't need your sass right now, ma'am. It's uncalled for. The old windbag doesn't look so good. Everybody's doing their darndest to forget Hammer. Who do they think made Global Studios what it is today? Hammer. It's all due to Hammer. She's starting to froth at the mouth, Nick. Maybe we should keep a safe distance. I'd like to talk to you about 5 years ago. I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago? Who told? Who did you hear that from? I literally didn't say anything. I just said 5 years ago. Nichols! Nichols? Penny Nichols? Her name is Penny Nichols? Oh my god. Nichols, Nick. Penny Nichols. That assistant we talked to. Oh, right. Anyway, we heard about the accident. It was during filming with Jack Hammer. He killed a man, didn't he? Whippersnappers! Dredging up dirt on someone's past like that, and the recently departed, no less. I suppose you think this is fun? No, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers. And you claim that Hammer stole Powers' costume? You expect me to believe that rubbish? Or do you have some kind of proof? Proof that Hammer stole Powers' costume? I mean, yeah, the sleeping pills, right? I'm sorry, Miss Oldbag, but I do have proof. I can prove that Mr. Hammer stole Mr. Powers' costume. Take that! Here's my proof. What? What's a little empty bottle supposed to prove? It's a bottle of sleeping pills with Mr. Hammer's fingerprints on it. What does that prove? I'm sure old Hammer had some sleepless nights. Where's your proof he used those pills on Powers? Okay, here. Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch, correct? Well, yes, so? This is the plate that he used to eat that steak. There are traces of sleeping pill powder on the plate. I see. Poor, poor Hammer. You did wrong, Hammer. Rest your soul. Soul back? Okay, you win. I'll talk. I'm tired, see? Tired of holding it all in. Miss Oldbag, you're right. 5 years ago, there was an accident. A fatal accident. What's worse, a paparazzi took a photo of it. That photo, well, it caused quite a stir. And guess who made it all better? Vasquez. She has ties to the mafia. She silenced that paparazzi. That was the beginning. After that, she became a force to be reckoned with here at the studio. I see. But you have to understand, poor old Hammer never meant to harm anyone. Miss Oldbag? Hold on a minute. Poor Miss Oldbag. Here, take this. Is this the photograph? It's the bent fence piece that we commented on earlier that said they looked dangerous. Wait a second. This is the picture. Is this the trailer at Studio 2? Hammer was supposed to fight with a bad guy on top of those stairs. He pushed the other actor. The man fell onto the flower box fence. No, we said it looked dangerous. But how did you get this? It was a long time ago. I don't feel much like talking about it. I understand. 5-year-old photo, added to the court record. All right, let's go. Can we go back to Studio 2? Oh, let's see if anyone shows up here. Think back, Nick, to the day of the murder. Mr. Hammer put on the Steel Samurai costume. Then he left from here to go to Studio 2? Right. But why? I wonder if someone called him, like the director or the producer. Hello, Vasquez. Funny running into you here. Hey, Nick. It's Miss Vasquez. Hello? Hello? Huh? Look. Oh! Maya, you should at least try to be polite. I'm watching the clouds. That's all she had to say, apparently. I was wondering if you could tell me about Mr. Manella? If you must talk about that man. Perhaps you could talk about it in the trailer? By yourselves? Oh. Okay, you know what? Tell me about this photo, ma'am. She's not even looking. Where? What? Where did you get that? Well, old bag. Old bag? She means a security lady, Miss Old Bag, Nick. Right. Anyway, Miss Vasquez, you hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you used it to control Mr. Hammer. The wind. Huh? It's gotten stronger, don't you think? The wind. Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer. Nick, she went inside the trailer. Okay. You came. Well then, what was that you were talking about? Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kids shows for petty change. So I'm a blackmailer now? Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure, it was an accident, but you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. Oh? I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of its own accord. But you were the cause. You pressured him. And to think it was just an accident. Excuse me. What is this all about? You keep saying accident, accident. How are you so sure? What do you mean? Must I spell everything out for you? Think, what would it be if it wasn't an accident? No. No way. You mean Mr. Hammer did it on purpose? That is what I mean. Where's your proof? Can you prove it? Just think, would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard, believe you me. But the security lady said it was an accident. Well, she was a big fan of Hammer's, you see. She jumped on the reporter who brought that photo from the studio. She wrenched it out of his hands, gave him a few bruises too. So that's why she had the photo. She's an old fool. Of course, all the reporter would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy, but he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me, now. What? This is valuable evidence. Boys? Where did they come from? I like the guy over on the right whose like hand is reaching into his jacket. Who are they? Professionals. They're good at erasing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be erased? What? The trial ends tomorrow? How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it. Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should D. Vasquez care about that at all? I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, erase away. No! Hold it right there! Gumshoe! I heard everything, pal. D. Vasquez, you're coming down to the precinct with me, now! Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then, in court. I'll be looking forward to it. Are her boys gonna be with her? Hey, Gumshoe, look at him, he's all out of breath. Hey, you okay, pal? Sorry, I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing. Detective Gumshoe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was really scared. Huh? Don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job. Detective Gumshoe? Sorry, it's just I've wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective. Okay, I've got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon. Well, Nick, looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this. And who's at the bottom? D. Vasquez. So it's not the to be continued. October 20th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Okay, so we have found everything we need to find. We've talked to everyone we need to talk to. Hopefully. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgelord, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. And you may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. The day of the murder. Okay. I entered the trailer a little before noon. Okay. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Yes. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. This is all stuff we've seen. We found Hammer's body later, so we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. Huh? There's a van at Studio 2. Yep, there is. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over. Van added to the road. Okay. I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. How are we going to cross-examine any of that? This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Everything... I mean, she was very vague and she jumped around a lot, but she's saying all the stuff we already said. I entered the trailer a little before noon. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in at the employee area? No. Okay. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards. I thought the rehearsal was before. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Okay. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me to Studio 2 in the van. Oh yeah, right. We knew that. Okay. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she'd said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss, but I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere. Okay. How do we prove she didn't eat a steak? Maybe this is like, wouldn't there have been sleeping pills in the steak? Objection! Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manila ate at the table outside the trailer. Yeah, there was no bone. I said that originally. May the record show. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like in that incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Oh, scandal, scandal. Order. Are you saying... Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. I don't feel confident. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? Well, why couldn't she? It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but silence. I'm speaking. The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes? I believe this would indicate that the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the steel samurai costume is quite light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower. I couldn't possibly win such a fight. Not to mention, there is proof that I did not have the spear. The photo of the steel samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. Or do you mean to suggest that I could have wrestled it away from him? Yeah, take that, Wright. If you still think she did it, show us the proof. It wasn't the steel spear. She pushed him on the fence. Hey, Nick, look at the data we have of the samurai spear in the court record. Isn't there something in there that gets to you? Something odd about the samurai spear? Wait, something the matter, Mr. Wright? Sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to take back my previous claim. Very well. I won't hold you to your claim. But I'm afraid I will have to penalize you. Ugh. What's this? You're taking back your claim? Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether the witness could have used the samurai spear or not. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body, but there was no blood. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. This picture, show this picture. Take that! Wrong, Mr. Wright. But I haven't said anything yet. I know you well enough by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence. I can sense it too with my Fey blood. Okay, so I picked the wrong evidence. Enough with all the sensing. Right, okay, here's the real evidence, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. What do you mean, not the picture? I feel like it's the picture. Is it because it was broken? Take that! I present my proof. The so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence! I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was? How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill? Yes, I can. It was a fence. I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the murder weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. Yeah, now do the picture. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgelord, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying... Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio One, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer, all in the space of 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? In the van? The break in the meeting lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance, actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. The van!
Take that!
Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Objection!
Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Sal Manila that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manila was a conspirator? Of course he was. Of course Sal Manila have to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget, they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So, what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? What? Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly. It does seem very likely that she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Ugh. No, to come so far, only to fail. I don't know, they made everyone else testify 5 times. It seems as there are no further questions. I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Ms. Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I see. Very well. Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly do you want her to testify about? Well, yes. Indeed. Verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But wasn't he the one that said he always gets the guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. All right, after finding the body. I need some hydration. I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need to twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Ugh. I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. Why was Old Bag there? What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal. So I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manila arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Sal Manila's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying. Boy. The witness will continue her testimony. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember. Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps, but no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. How do you leave him on the bus? Couldn't he get off the bus by himself? Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent. Completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence. Silence. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing to Powers, saying he did it. Old Bag, the security lady? Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai, but then Powers showed up afterwards. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seemed to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you, or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot of writing on it, which all those bigwigs at that meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? But you didn't know that! When she left to go to the studio, she didn't know there had been a murder.
Objection!
Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. What, is Edgelord on our side? Think. Miss Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One. That's what I just said. I could be a lawyer. Order, order, Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well. The witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know? You weren't there during the rehearsal. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. You have to find something to peg this on her, or everything we've done until now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. Oh no. Oh no. Because the whole thing with this was like, he was dragging one leg. They thought it was Powers.
Objection!
You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in the photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah, and when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. That's right, Edgeworth. Exactly. We're buddies now. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order, order! I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Ugh. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? I don't think so. Nick, no! Saying you can't prove it now would be admitting defeat. She'll get away. But what proof could I possibly have? I don't care if it's impossible. You still have to fight. Okay. I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in the murder. Ah. Okay. The accident? I mean... I don't know why that would be motive. But it doesn't... It makes the most sense to show. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. Does it? I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for your petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. I don't know. I don't know. What if she had no motive? What if it was an accident? She had no motive, Your Honor. Was that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. Was that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? He was sick of it, and he was trying to frame Mr. Powers, Your Honor. Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Seal Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him for all those years. Uh-oh. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No! Oh, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Oh, who is Manuel? Don't touch him! Miss Vasquez, no! Please, please don't die. Please. Who is Manuel? Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. That's right. This was the longest case. Confetti! Confetti! Oh, wait, he's there now. Big Wolverine guy. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 20, 1:12 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright? Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Because you, like, took his spot? Show evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... Yeah, I was thinking the scrapbook. It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was a Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids show and is the villain to boot. The kids love the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime. I think you're missing the points. He jelly, that's why. It's not that deep. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So this was the longest one we've done. Congratulations, WP. Oh, thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. Well, we think they burned it because it was soaking in blood, so maybe not that exact one. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... What? Is something wrong? No, of course not. Nick! Edgeworth! It's Edgeworth out of the courtroom in his natural habitat. What? What? Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? What do you want? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right? I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Oh, what years? Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have had been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if they're rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick. Tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? That's what I want to know. You guys have a history. And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again. The Pink Princess! Nick, this is it! The new show starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy the trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. The end.